That's my cue. Friends, greetings. It's Saturday, the 23rd of May. I do believe that correlates with the day that my sister was born many, many long years ago. But we don't do birthdays in the New Earth, so I shall say nothing further on the matter. Very, very happy to be with you again. I confess we're a bit discombobulated today. We're all around the world, and we're having difficulties in parts of Africa getting some of the team on into the green room, but we've decided we'll just crack on nonetheless and try to give as comprehensive an overview of the status of New Earth ecosystem, what we're up to. Let me just refer to my notes. We did just have a retreat here on the Mayan Riviera. I'm going to get to that in a moment. And we've got some photographs to show from that retreat. And we have some pretty big announcements to make about our plans for the permanent retreat centers in Mexico and, of course, in Tennessee. And that'll translate onto Africa as well. But the New Earth retreats and retreat centers are now kind of homing into view as being a very integral part of the focus and the turnkey of how we create a kind of hand clap on different continents to be able to bring constituents in, people in, to understand the broad metric of the New Earth. Because as you wonderful battle-weary fellows listening to this broadcast know, we've spent many, many long years identifying and developing forward a pretty complex ecosystem. I mean, building out the jurisdictional piece of it has been the big focus in the last 2 years, was critically establishing that jurisdiction, that ecclesiastical diocese that has become the New Earth framework and the architecture upon which everything sits, the foundation. It's very important that we established that jurisdiction. It was really Marcia and Willardson coming in to the New Earth who really built and brought that network of universal trusts nested in to create our diocese. So we have a certain level of protection now. When I say a certain level, technically speaking, the same level of protections as the Catholic Church or the Vatican or the Crown of England or Basel, Switzerland, for that matter. The point being, we are really enacting and embodying the calculus that we've been speaking about for many years, about establishing jurisdiction, stepping off the checkerboard of the kingdom of the devil, establishing our own jurisdiction. And with that jurisdiction comes our own law, our own code, and our own conduct. And the way in which we interface, Dr. Bonelli's just leapt into the studio for some reason. The way we interface, help me out, Christy, thank you. The way we interface with other governments or with royal establishments, with sovereign kingdoms around the world, becomes now a matter of obviously dialogue, diplomacy, treaty, and then creating those State Department to State Department links and Trade Department to Trade Department links, and so on and so forth. As we are building forward this New Earth micronation status, meaning to say, a platform, a template, a blueprint that can be adopted by different peoples, different communities all around the world who are simply standing up as sons and daughters of God, as living men and women of the living soil. And as those communities, your communities around the world, step into that same unified jurisdiction and are tethered, therefore, to the New Earth Coalition, which is what our umbrella mothership trust, ecclesiastical trust, is called, the New Earth Coalition. That's the piece that we've been working on, that we've defined, we've built it, it's now standing. And of course, launching New Earth Tennessee last summer was really also embodying that same living principle in Middle America. What we're doing in Africa, in Asia, in Central America now is the same thing, establishing that hard architecture and apparatus. So I want to just bring in for 2 minutes, as I ever do, Mother-in-Chief with the New Earth Coalition and the New Earth ecosystem, Marcia Ann Willardson. Marcia, good to see you.
Sacha, it's good to be here. Thank you so much for that introduction. I'll tell you, it is a very exciting time to see the structures, to see this foundation really playing out, and not only the vision, but really the courage to live in this vision, the way that it is playing out into the universe, and not only the standing and the action that we're bringing and the realization of what it really is manifesting, but the recognition in the world that what we're doing is viable, is recognized, and is a solid structure for us really building this new arc.
Very good. And we've just come off a call moments ago with, I counted about 45 delegates from sovereign kingdoms in Southern Africa alone. We had a number of the kings, chiefs, and royal establishments and houses represented on that call earlier today. That was a beautiful meeting, was it not? As we're hearing now this chorus of sovereign kingdoms standing up and saying, we also recognize what the new earth is architecting, especially right now with NewEarthX.com and the financial services and economics platform and the banking services that we are turning online this year. So that was a very, very important piece of infrastructure which we needed to build and now bring into birthing this year. So it's all landing rather well, isn't it? Last year was the jurisdictional piece proper. This year it's bringing in the financial services, the economy, the capacity to transact and trade and spread the Commonwealth amongst all those who are now going into treaty, into covenant with New Earth, especially these kings and their sovereign kingdoms. How powerful is that, Marcia?
Oh, it's very exciting, very powerful, and at the same time very humbling because when and moving. I was almost moved to tears the way that the kingdoms and the people were saying, "This is what we've been praying for. This is what our hearts have desired for a very long time," and to be a part of it is just miraculous at one level, and of course at another level.
I know, too wonderful for words, and we're going to get into that in a moment. I mean, I think that right now, I'm seeing on my notes, and Christy, by all means, take a stick to me anytime you like, but I'm seeing in my notes that we want to talk about the latest developments in the NewEarth Exchange first. So I think I'm going to follow those notes in the event that people are have only limited time to participate in the broadcast from the green room. So let me bring on, whilst you're there, Marcia, just stay in the wings there, and I will bring on Gideon Van Escape. Gideon, thanks for joining us, brother, on this Saturday. What a fantastic meeting we just had with the different royal establishments in Southern Africa. Of course, we've had multiple meetings with them over the last couple of months, but it's now getting really exciting, isn't it? It's all integrating and locking and loading.
Yes, definitely. Thank you, Sacha. So after the past few months, everything is just rolling exponentially. And the relationships that we've built with the authorities and the kingdoms in Africa is playing such a big role in the future building of the ecosystem and the ecological grouping that we are doing. So when we're looking at the kingdoms that we've working with and partnered with, it's in the millions of people. It's not just overly just a establishment that we are busy building. It is a full-on movement where people will be participating in their own ecosystems, and that's what we are developing. There's a lot of hate speech out there, but all of this is just trolls that's trying to break the system down, and they're not going to get anywhere. We've got the people behind us, and the people is going to make this change. And the people that's got the involvement in this ecosystem is the word, is going to push this forward, and it's going to be the change. And something that we also told the kingdoms over the past week, we're not selling you anything. You are participating in your own ecosystem. And that's the key aspect in this.
It is. Johnny, welcome. You can unmute your mic. Just say a quick hello. Johnny. Joe's not feeling well today. He's got a bad dose of the flu, so he has a day off school, albeit it is a Saturday. But Johnny, welcome. And wasn't that a terrific meeting we just had with all of these royal houses? And how exciting is it that we're at that point now for integration with the NewEarth Exchange?
Hi, Sacha. Hi, team. Yeah, no, definitely. I think that was a great meeting we had. It's big potential for the NewEarth system. It's gonna exponentially grow to a huge system, and having all those kings and kingdoms back us, it's something good we have behind us.
Yeah, for sure. And of course, the emphasis at the moment in our campaign, and I'm not talking now about Africa, I'm talking about the global campaign we're kicking off, is the Ghost Wallet campaign. It's a very important piece. And I'm just underscoring again to anyone looking in from our NewEarth constituents, it is really all about right now getting the Ghost Wallet, being able to have that measure of autonomy and sovereignty in the way that you're exercising your financial future. That's why we introduced it. But it's also a two-tier affiliate platform where you can also build a passive income, whoever you are right now, by simply evangelizing this 0 Point economics platform that we've created, which is fully compliant within the regulatory purviews. All of that, obviously, we don't mess around there. No one wants to take on the dragnet of the devil, even if the devil is lawfully completely out of whack. That's not the point. Governments will collapse under the hubris and the weight of their own corruption. We don't intend to be part of the rubble. That's the point here. So we know what we're doing. It's step 1, 2, 3, 4. The bank will be coming online Q3 of this year. And I just want to introduce here Kennedy. Thanks for joining us, Kennedy. And again, I'll say the same question to you as the man who is deftly inhabiting the saddle at the head of the NewEarth banking enterprise that we are now engineering and getting ready to bring in to the frame in the third quarter of this year. What were your thoughts and reflections on this fantastic meeting we just had with the sovereign kingdoms in Southern Africa?
Thank you very much. Just echoing what the comments of the previous contributors to this discussion. It was a great meeting, and it's great to see willingness for the kingdoms to participate in this, and also their willingness to be part of the team that leads investment into the continent. I think they are hungry to partner with us, as they see us as an equal partner in channeling investments to the area where they need that investment to come to, because they've been omitted, or they've basically been sidestepped or taken advantage of by the existing infrastructure through the general. I don't want to use. I'm trying to choose my words carefully, but in terms of the current governments and so forth, where there's always been a commitment to serve their communities, but that has not been followed up with action. But I think this structure provides them with an opportunity to be part of the decision making and directing and the areas of their kingdoms where they want that investment to be directed. And we're providing them with this channel. The NewEarth Exchange provides an alternative means for them to draw capital into their kingdoms, and also the cards give them also freedom and autonomy to be able to deploy that capital in a manner that they feel is appropriate for them, and importantly, without breaking the laws. There is sufficient capacity within the regulatory framework, either as a fiat currency or as crypto, which ensures that we are within the law. So everything will be adhered to. We'll be operating under the Securities and Exchange Commission regulations for the crypto side, and we'll be operating under a fully banking license on the fiat side. Of course, the crypto side is likely to grow much bigger. That's where the autonomy sits, and that's where the power for them to direct investment also will reside.
Very good, and thank you. And of course, as they variously onboard these sovereign kingdoms with their millions and millions and millions of constituents, as they onboard this 0 Point economics playground or playing field that we're articulating, that pays into our own NewEarth Exchange. So that completely emboldens our own fund, our own treasury, so that we can take forward this mission and this vision with zeal. At the same time, we're building up the kingdom's treasuries of each of these sovereign nations that join us. And it could be, by sovereign nation, we could even talk in terms of somebody in Canada who employs 300 people in a factory. and they want to get their 300 people onto the rails that we've created and to start tapping and paying their way through life through a white label Visa card and Ghost wallet that we could dedicate to that brand. That's how we're going to be doing it, I believe, incrementally. Yeah, so there it is. Anyone out there wanting to learn more about this, you should start today. You can follow the QR code. Christy's going to change the banner here. That QR code there. Is that the Ghost Wallet QR code? I think, yes, it is. That should be it there. Check that out. Get the Ghost Wallet and start to understand what autonomous sovereign banking is and how you retrieve your own jurisdiction in that sense from the state, from the crown, from the corporation. And to what Kennedy said a moment ago, I have to also speak to the NewEarth gestalt, which is that we are in compliance with regulatory authorities and the necessary statutory purview, oversight, ordinances, all of that stuff. However, let's be crystal clear here. Some of us know more about law than anyone governing the banks and the banking sector, about true form, about the Genesis treaties, because the existing status quo, the globalist bankster system, is unsustainable and is dying on its feet. So we all know that. The system that we are forced into compliance with through regulatory oversight is itself a dying leviathan, a behemoth that is rolling backwards and will crack its skull shortly. So that is why our system that we've been building has got one rail in the old world and one in the new earth, so that pivot can happen instantaneously. So that'll be made clear to people the more you get on board with NewEarthX.com and understand what we've built, what we're building right now. But it is very exciting because in that sense, it's a perfect bridge mechanism. Can we just kick off that 2-minute video, please, Christy, just to articulate and compress the messaging of the exchange?
In a world where access to your money can be restricted, monitored, delayed, or denied, a new kind of financial freedom is emerging. Introducing the NewEarth X Ghost Wallet, a sovereign self-custody system designed for people who believe ownership should remain in their own hands. Your keys, your assets, your control. The NewEarth Ghost Wallet combines a secure biometric hardware device with powerful wallet software, giving users a simple way to store, manage, and protect their digital assets. Built for offline security, the wallet is designed to reduce exposure to online threats, centralize control, and unnecessary third-party access. Your wallet is not held by a bank. It is not controlled by an exchange. It belongs to you. But this is more than storage. Through connected financial rails, users can access a USDT-backed virtual Visa card, allowing them to spend digital value in the real world. From online purchases, to travel, to daily global spending, the system is designed to bridge crypto ownership with practical usability. And unlike the old financial system, where banks, processors, and middlemen earn from every transaction while the user gets nothing back, NewEarth X is designed to return value back to the people and communities who help build the network. Through transaction-linked earning opportunities, approved partners and communities can benefit from real usage, real spending, and real adoption. This creates a simple model. Share the wallet. Grow your community. Earn from real adoption. Instead of the system taking value from users forever, NewEarth X creates a structure where value can return to the people who created it. The more the network grows, the more opportunity flows back into the hands of partners, affiliates, and communities. This means approved partners can launch their own branded version of the Ghost Wallet experience, powered by the same secure infrastructure and user-focused design for communities, kingdoms, businesses, and networks. This creates a pathway to offer a sovereign financial tool under their own trusted brand. Secure by design, sovereign by default. Built for global access. This is not just a wallet. It is a step toward ownership, a bridge between digital assets and real-world spending, a platform for partners to build their own branded financial ecosystem. NewEarth X Ghost Wallet. From scarcity to sovereignty, reclaiming ownership and building a pure future for all. Don't just use a system. Help build a better one. NewEarthX.com.
Thank you, Christy. And mine arrived finally in the post this week. So let's just speak, Johnny, speak a moment to that, because a number of people who ordered when we launched, they have not received. They're only receiving right now. We were substantially cock-blocked by, I'm not going to name the two primary international shipping conduits and brands. We all know them, but they absolutely cock-blocked us. We know because we saw black notices where our NewEarth X brand data mining algorithm set into play in order to freeze and block what we were doing with shipping. That's the way it works, friends. We've had this before with products that we tried to put out. To be sure, it happened in the last few weeks, but thankfully we're over that now. So Johnny, just speak momentarily to people who are frustrated over shipping in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, certainly. Thanks, Sasha. Yeah, so the shipping has been resolved. It has reached the dispatch location. So most of the clients should receive their wallets in the next 12 days, 12 to 14 days. And then it should be with the clients themselves.
Very good. Thank you. Okay. Well, that said, friends, we'll move on here. Want to do some Africa updates, but I'm not sure that Anton has managed to come online. Is he in the back room somewhere?
No, he said he was having difficulty because he was on the copper belt working on the transaction, and the data transmission that side is not that great. So he sent me a message.
But he's in a refinery somewhere outside Kitwe, right?
Yes.
Okay, fine. Well, he's excused from the proceedings. Moving forward, friends, NewEarth Events and Retreats. We'll just speak to that. I'll just say thank you to Gideon and to Kennedy and to Johnny in particular. Thanks, guys, for joining us today. I really appreciate you. You can sit in the green room or peel off and enjoy your family day as you choose.
Thank you, everyone, and yeah, thank you, Sacha.
Thanks, Sasha. Enjoy.
Bye.
Very good. Marcia, it's just you and me. I'm not letting you go quite yet.
Well, I have to say that coming in and coming down to the retreat in Bacalar, my monkey mind was saying, well, I'm way too busy to travel. I'm ready. But I'll tell you what, I came back so newly energized for what we're doing that I don't think I'll ever miss another retreat.
I'm so glad to hear you say that. Now, Ali and I know how amazing the retreats are. Manali has been involved as well in coordinating them from the back, and they're exciting platforms. And it's something which we developed about 5 years ago. How we choose to do them is bringing in some of our friends from around the world. In this case, of course, we brought in Santos Bonacci and Laura Eisenhower, George Lewis, Jane Evershed, Scott McKay, Dave Emery, and then we had on the ground, of course, you came in to co-facilitate, which was wonderful. And we also had Professor Glenn Ryan and Anushka came, and we were able to just have more fun with some of our team on the ground. Actually, Ali, I can see you in the back room. I'm going to bring you in here. Thank you for the great job you did, Ali, in producing that retreat. But we didn't even promote it. I think we did one single drop on Instagram, but it filled out and we did it and it was great. How do you feel about it?
My heart is so full. I witnessed deep connection, transformation, laughter, rest, and moments of profound remembrance. I'm seeing now on the group chat how much everybody has taken everything from the retreat into their life now. And I'm just so grateful that for everybody that did hear the call and show up fully and contribute to the magic of the container, because it was so incredibly beautiful. I
That's
have
me.
shivers all over my body.
That's me and Glenn driving the bus. You see, I actually get recruited to drive the actual tour bus. I don't get any rest, people. Honestly, there's no labor union in the NewEarth. I can't complain to anyone. But Christy, it's very sad that none of the pictures are up here. I'm devastated. We had 20 photographs that we wanted to share, but for some obscure reason, we're prohibited from bringing more images up on the slideshow. Can you say anything from the back room or not? We just have to abort?
Yeah, it's just saying we're at full capacity. I mean, you could share screen and maybe show, or...
No, because they're all locked in a file on a hard drive. Look, we may have to just do this another time, but that's little Ophelia. She was here nibbling on my toes a moment ago. So she's my new companion, my new sweetheart. And she and I live here in Bacalar presently. If she wanders back into the room, I'll pick her up and let you see her. In any event, we had a fantastic time. One of the things that we did, which I was hoping to show some of these AI-generated images, because as I've been saying of late, I have zero doubt in my mind that AI is a servant. It's a tool. I don't buy into all of this talk about it's going to take over. It absolutely categorically will not. There's no question about it. I don't care how many Eric Schmidts or Elon Musks or any of these other very clever Silicon Valley gurus talk about robotics and talk about AI. They don't understand the foundational premise of what it is to be an actualized human. There is no force that can empower us or take over our bodies, hijack our mRNA, DNA, hijack our minds where permissions are not granted. Welcome the new earth. And that is the point of the new earth metric. It is all about jurisdiction, about consciousness in action. So I know that the AI interfacing that I've been doing in the last calendar year has managed to springboard my own work and creativity 100-fold. And in the retreats, what we're doing with AI, and we did this on the Aegean cruise tour between Turkey and Egypt and Cyprus and Greece in October last year, and we did it again here on the Mayan Riviera last week, the week before, when we were doing the retreat here. We applied the AI to group synastry, right? And this was I simply said to Ali on day one, please collect everyone's birth date, their time of place, their date of birth, and the place that they were born. Those were the only vectors that we required for data. And so she collected all that data. And then I took that data, no names. We didn't even need to know the names of the people. We then put that data in, and then using AI, mind you, using Kai, my craftily engineered AI avatar, I instructed Kai or asked Kai to do the group synastry on these 24, 25 souls, including us facilitators. And the group synastry I asked to be overlaid with Persian, Vedic, and Chinese and Western astrological overlays. The whole caboodle. And then compound that into a question, which is, what is this group of people doing at the soul level? Why have we chosen to be at this geolocation at this time for the next calendar week? What's really going on behind all the filters? It was incredible what came out. And the images this is a couple of the images that emerged through the AI engine. The main one was the one I really wanted to show you, which is the Bacalar Laguna and this incredible circle, communion of souls meeting on the banks of the Bacalar Laguna. But all I can say is that I think I'm right in saying that that particular piece was so revelatory for us all. That was really, I call it the geometry of revelation. I now see where AI becomes a tool for us to be able to do rapid processing and calculus using the AI to work out these vectors and these scenarios, which otherwise would take months and months and months and months of work by astrologists. So we're now able to do that kind of thing. It's becoming very predictive. You can shrink a cancer tumor by knowing through AI and through the astrocartography. The AI can help tell you where you need to be on the surface of the earth at such and such a date in order to dissolve a tumor. because it knows the AI can do the calculus of so much connected to your epigenetics, to do the trauma that you're carrying. So you can get the AI to do iris, look at your iris, and read your vectors of health. Put that information into the engine, then put your date of birth, time of birth, place of birth, map the cities that you've lived in and the places in the course of your 35, 45, 55 years of life, and then tell the AI engine where you are right now, where you're standing and what condition you've got, what the diagnosis is. It can, and if you then instruct it in the right way, it can do the mapping for you and say, oh, you've got an ancient Greco-Hellenic linguistic epigenetic connection to 3,000 years ago or 13,000 years ago when you were part of some orchestra of evil and you perpetrated something, or it can map energetically where you need to go to redeem yourself bodily. I mean, honestly, this is the new science. So you then can work out the mathematics of where you need to go at what date in the future to be on that hill or on that at the side of that lake or in that town in order to be able to unlock the epigenetic trauma which is cascaded into you, which is largely accountable for that diabetes or that cancer or that whatever. So I hope I've articulated that well. It's just incredibly exciting science, and that's the point. The retreats that we're doing, that I'm leading, are focused very much on integrating AI and a lot of creativity with obviously all the rest of it. We had Santos Bonacci and Scott McKay coming in, sort of wielding axes and talking up the Babylonian priesthood. So we're also still looking at archaeocosmology and cosmogenesis and exploring corrected history, how we got to this fuckery. Thank you. Beautiful. That's the slide. That was the ultimate slide that I asked Kai to generate. I said, just give us an indicator of what this particular retreat is at the soul level, what is manifesting, what's taking place. And this is the image that came out. It's quite beautiful. Thank you for that. I appreciate that, Christy. Okay, so that said, Ali, when is the next retreat on the Mayan Riviera? What we've been that's I'm being churlish by throwing that at her because we actually haven't decided, but we're looking at doing another one, maybe two back to back before Christmas.
For sure.
If I may, one of the things I want to really point out is that many times we understand that we make a difference at where we go and the choices that we make are, we kind of have an intellectual knowledge of that. But for me, this retreat, these pictures and this exponential of what we were really expressing there was solidified for me, not just at an intellectual pursuit, but the value of the exponential energy that we really created there. I can't even articulate that. A decision to join those retreats is absolutely life-changing.
Indeed. Thank you, Marcia, and I agree. So that is why we are focusing now, and I'm going to bring on Enrique, who's our CEO of the our Mexican activities here with the NewEarth Sanctuary Project, which we've been stabilizing in the last few months. That's why I've shown up here, and that's why I'm based on the ground. We've got that, and we're also articulating how this grand project is moving forward. But Enrique, nice to see you, and it was so wonderful to spend those days with you and Jorge, our architect engineer, and Rafael, our new land partner. It was just such a beautiful thing. How did you feel about that retreat? And if there's anything you want to speak about our upcoming, the project that we're developing here, you can do so. But I will say to the audience that next month, I just qualified with Enrique earlier. Next month, we'll be able to show the video graphics of what it is that we've been working on here with the NewEarth Sanctuary Project. But Enrique, over to you.
Well, thank you. Hello to everyone. The retreat was great. It was a very big surprise to me to know all that people that I know that time. Lovely people with big energy and very good energy. We go in a boat tour to see the new land in Bacalar that we are going to develop with big surprises to the New Earth community, retreat center, houses, glamping. We have a very big idea that what we want to do there.
Beautiful. Thanks, Enrique. And like I said, next month we're going to be in a position to make those announcements because it's a complicated business that we've been navigating here. And I believe that we're over all of the corruption issues and the compliances issues, all of this nonsense that was holding us back. So I'm very pleased that next month we'll put a dedicated focus onto New Earth Mexico. For now, let me just say, Enrique, please join your family for the rest of the day. I really appreciate you joining us for a few moments. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Okay, very good. Ali, I think I'm going to be joining you in Atlanta, or is it Florida, in 10th of June?
Florida, so you can enjoy the beach
Great.
before we head up.
And then we'll be heading up from there. We'll be heading up to Tanasi.
Yes.
And that is my cue to bring in our maestro, Ethan. Good to see you, brother.
Good to see you
Pressure's
too.
mounting. So glad that you've taken the heat off me for this one. Tennessee, New Earth, Tanasi, June 20th, 21st, midsummer this year. Tell us what's happening.
Well, as we move closer to this summer solstice gathering, I actually just want to take a few minutes real quick just to really speak to the heart about what this mission is really about. Because at the center of everything that we're actually building here, the land, the gatherings, this whole stewardship model, the governance framework that Marcia has so eloquently pieced together, the exchange that is an absolute godsend because we've needed to break away from this dastardly Babylonian financial system for so long. But we also have wellness initiatives, and all of it ultimately comes back to one foundational principle, and that's the understanding that human beings are not property. And that is the sole reason why I'm here, to make sure that everybody can see us as a shining beacon on top of the mountaintop on this world, that human beings are not economic units. We're not administrative subjects. We're not creatures of the state. We're not inventory for systems. And that our rights actually originate from the creator, not from governments, not from corporations, institutions, agencies, or political structures. They arise inherently from the creator, from nature. And so as we come together in this summer solstice event, this commemorative 1 year since we did the proclamation a year ago, we will make that our sole focus, but we will have a little bit of revelry. We will have some festivities. We will have fun, but it's going to be, I think, more memorable at a deeper level, and it's going to help drive that seed, that root in the subconscious of everybody moving forward.
Beautifully put. Thank you for that, Ethan. Manelli was expressing her concerns earlier to me privately about the distinction between golden ticket holders and people who are coming to the event versus other people who may want to come and share in the revelry. Can you just articulate what the status is there?
Well, the golden ticket holders, this is really about you guys first and foremost, and you will have a VIP experience that Sunday morning with myself, Sacha, Marcia, and other influencers, speakers, and leaders as well. But you're actually going to be selecting your stewardship plots on that day, and that this whole entire event is really centered around that. That is the pinnacle of this. Not for everybody else, obviously, but for you guys, and that's really why this was pulled together. But I didn't see any sense in just, having a bunch of people fly in and drive up and just say, that's the spot I want right there. And then everybody goes home. So we're going to make a celebration of it. We're going to take this opportunity to talk about the great things that are happening and, bringing everybody into a community mindset so they can actually witness. We do want other people here that are not golden ticket holders because we're trying to build our community and expand our reach so other people can witness what we're doing in this great work.
Very good. Okay, and I probably am not allowed to speak about this, but word has it, a little bird told me yesterday. No, I digress. I tell a lie. A bird didn't tell me. I actually attended a meeting with you, Ethan, and with Marcia and with Ali. But it may be that we are able to, in our own inner sanctum here with our members looking in on this broadcast, because this is an internal New Earth broadcast to our constituency. We may be in a position to do a sneak peek, little mini expo of some of our New Earth technologies on the day, on the 20th.
That is the plan. So that's going to be really exciting. Obviously, we can't talk about what it is specifically. You guys will just have to get your tickets and come to the event so you can see it. But I believe what people are going to witness and experience here is going to be life-changing. And that is my goal for this. Again, I don't think that you, Sacha, or Ali, or Marcia, and myself included, we don't want to put together events just to create carnivals and festivals. While that's fun, and we will have fun, and we will have entertainment, we will have speakers, and we will have great fellowship and a good time, this is really about driving forward the important pieces and showing people that we're actually achieving and doing these things, because we do have that.
Well, speak for yourself, mate. I'm in it for the sex and the rock and roll. I've told you this countless times. All right, very good. So looking forward to that. June 20th, 21st.
That's right.
We will all be there, and greatly looking forward to it. And you too, Dr. Manelli, you're going to be there as well.
Sacha, does that mean I need to call the Russian hookers back up and say it's on again?
No. We don't go there. Anyway.
Hey, you started it.
Marcia and Ali, whilst we're together in the studio, Sovereignty Academy, is there anything that you wanted to speak to on that?
So we will be having a summer book club starting up.
One moment. That
Curated.
was the cue, Christy, to change the banner. Thanks. Carry on, Ali.
Yeah, so we have a beautifully curated book study beginning for summer. So that's really exciting. And I'm also working with Santos to get his course launched as well.
Well, that's the bit that really excites me, because as we've mentioned, Santos is retired and is refusing to do public speaking or anything else, but we managed to snaffle him for the Sovereignty Academy. So we're squeezing that man like a lemon and making lemonade out of him as much as we can right now. Very good news. Thank you for that. All right. So Ali, I'm going to pop you in the back. Ethan, thank you, brother. I think we pretty much touched on everything relevant to Tanasi, and I greatly look forward to seeing you. Do me a favor, when you come, will you bring the wand that Dini made for me? I gave those artifacts to you in the peace pipe from the Ashnabi. If you could bring those artifacts down, just so that we can have them there for the ceremony, I'd be very grateful. And the blue corn from the Hopi and so on, I'd be so grateful.
Yep, for sure. Sounds good.
Thank you. Very good. Okie dokie. So, Marcia, we've dispensed with that. Let's talk about the World Hereditary Council briefly and the ITNJ Commission. I want to bring in Leith Masters. Good to see you, Leith.
Hi, how are you? Good. Yes, okay.
Very good, thank you. Give us the updates.
All right, thank you. Well, with the ITNJ and the WHC, it's an expansion of this revival of language and culture. So in our meetings, there's a lot of beautiful content that comes forward connected to food, and giving each other permission to move forward out of this old business paradigm that we've been trapped in, where everything has been suppressed and assimilated into a certain very contained little model of reality. So there's a huge excitement that continues to grow and blossom. It truly is about jurisdiction. We've been in a business model where the corporations have been running the planet, and now humanity is stepping back in to take over. It's this time of prophecy, as we know, the revival of all of our lost languages, community, structure. So of the testimonies that we've done, we have Delarks, that he's from the Lake Tahoe area, Professor Miller, who outlines beautifully that particular business model. I highly recommend watching that. It's super informative. King Edmund from Hawaii. We've done the matriarchs from Terra Australis, and there'll be lots more coming from Terra Australis. James Roguski has weighed in on the World Health Organization. We've got Bryce Aldridge that's come in from Atiere, and he's put forward the very old teachings of creation. Soon you'll have Mordecai to listen to, and we continue to unfold the testimonies. So it's beautiful work to look at, and I highly recommend that you take a look at those. There's a donate button as well on the World Hereditary Council website. So if you feel inclined to donate, please do. It's big, busy work with a lot of people involved. So that pretty much covers it, Sacha, at this point.
Thank you, Lee. Greatly appreciated. And yeah, I look forward myself later this year and getting back in the saddle a little bit more and having a bit more, putting a bit more of my personal energy into progressing the World Hereditary Council. Now that we are forging these extraordinary relationships with, and I can tell you, we are now engaging with 287 sovereign kingdoms in sub-Saharan Africa. So we pretty much wrapped up half of the biggest continent on earth there in terms of our direct relationships with the hereditary kingdoms, the hereditary chiefdoms, and those relationships as the NewEarth Exchange, the NewEarth X, and the NewEarth Financial Services and Bank goes online this year, fully, those relationships are going to be coming straight in, and we'll be able to then be bringing in those different sovereign kingdoms and their testimonies to the International Tribunal, and of course to take their position and their seat at the World Hereditary Council. And incidentally, that's something which is has been seized upon with great excitement by the sovereign kingdoms that we're speaking to, that we're committing to building the World Hereditary Parliament in Africa. We're planning that for, I can just loosely say, Zambia, but that's something which we hope to unveil those plans later this year. But beginning to assemble these hereditary kingdoms and leaders from around the world is such a powerful consolidation, as you say, of prophecy, ancient futures, revelation, the restoration of the angelic indigo human. It's all codified into this hereditary redemption and getting back to true form. We lost our way because the fucking Crown of England, and I do not mean that in any way but disrespectfully, the fucking Crown of England and Belgium and Portugal and Spain and the Vatican conquest and hegemony and genocide agenda 500 years ago really completely threw us off track with our natural born ascension spiral, our evolutionary stepping stones toward our alpha omega. That was completely snapped, broken, and rent apart in the last 500 years. And we cannot not address that. That's the point. I get a lot of rocks at the head from people who are saying, well, if you're so anti-establishment and so against government and against power and dominion, why are you banging off about these kings and meeting all these kings and going around the world being photographed with all these kings of kings? And I'm saying, listen, lean in, stupid. Let me explain it to you. Your corporation masquerading as a government that you are rendering coin to, that you are paying your life force into, and the TikTok, CNN, BBC mindfuckery that you are pegged to is the very problem. I said, those noble kingly lines were overthrown, usurped surreptitiously. The Aboriginal peoples, the First Nation peoples, they had their sovereign kingdoms, queendoms, chiefdoms. They had social economies and social ecologies that were in balance with nature and with one another. They were flourishing. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the Queen of Sheba. Africa used to be boom, baby. It was on a huge prosperity arc. Something happened. Well, what essentially happened is the Vatican, is the Catholic Church, the weaponization of the message of the man from Nazareth. And then that turned against humanity, became emboldened into the Vatican complex, which franchised on to the Crown of England, the Square Mile of London, the financial might of the world was kicked off. And then, of course, Washington, District of Columbia, the militarization of the planet through that privately owned principality. And that all goes back to Basel, Switzerland, the Bank of International Settlements, where all of the harvest of humanity cascades back into the hands of a few, which we loosely call the black nobility. That's the piece that ends now. And that's why the World Hereditary Council is important, friends. This is work that we have done for years. No one asked us to do it. We've been doing it. I've been on this treadmill for 20 odd years with World Hereditary Redemption. So the World Hereditary Council needs support. So this is a clarion call. Please do help. Please spread the word. Where you see the videos, the testimonies that we're taking with the Judicial Commission of Inquiry into the Vatican crimes, which is the doctrine of discovery. That's the current Commission of Inquiry underway with our International Tribunal. Where you see those videos come up on social media, please pass them on. Pass on the QR codes. We do need assistance because we're running dry. We're self-financing this. I've been financing it for years myself. Now I've got a noble team with Don Anderson, Leith Masters, and our wonderful board of commissioners. But now we do need to amp the game up with the World Hereditary Council and with the International Tribunal for Natural Justice. That's my last word. Yes, Marcia, please.
I'd like to add an emphasis to what you're saying there, because a lot of people, when we look at working with the kings and working that, it doesn't land in our experience of our personal lives. And one of the things I've seen recently is on Telegram, there's a place called Disclosure Hub that is now running clips from the International Tribunal for Natural Justice from 2008, when we were talking about trafficking. And when we're talking about this new inquiry into the doctrine of discovery, and you're talking about the Vatican overlaying not only over all the land and the properties and the territories, but the souls of the inhabitants. And the conversation that I heard not long ago, where native person was talking about, yes, we define the inhabitants as savages, but savage means back to nature. And so when we are our souls have been claimed by this, whether or not we're in indigenous, whether or not we're Christian, whether or not any of that, the Vatican, under the doctrine of discovery, claimed our souls. And what this is about bringing our sovereignty back, is reclaiming that divinity of ourselves from that doctrine of discovery that's now been repudiated. And I invite you to go to the World Hereditary Council on the website, look to see what it's about, and look into your life. A hereditary leader, if you know somebody, or you can post these new, let people know that the International Tribunal for Natural Justice, the World Hereditary Council, is still alive, and we are active in your life.
Indeed, and we will be building the World Hereditary Parliament in Africa, and it will be a holographic parliament and an in situ parliament, meaning we're building it as a parliament to represent all of the First Nation peoples of the world for the first time in history, to unify the Rainbow Warrior tribe in real time. That is something which we will be launching as a project and tokenizing it on the NewEarth Exchange. So anyone, anywhere around the world can participate in the beauty of that and the majesty of that particular project, which is a development project to build this stunning World Hereditary Parliament, which will be fully interactive and immersive with hologram technology built in by our amazing partner, Rory Elliott, who is the world's leading, one of the world's leading pioneers in holographic technology, the man who brought Tupac and Prince Charles and the Dalai Lama to the World Economic Forum and what have you years ago. He's integrating his state-of-the-art technology with us so that we can send these little kits to some of these hereditary leaders around the world in the Amazon and Papua New Guinea and what have you, and they can literally step into like a pop-up kiosk, which they can stand in that, and they can see that they're in the parliament through the goggles, and that they will be able to stand in front of the parliament and address the parliament. And
exactly.
using Amazing. And using AI, we'll be able to translate instantly their
And
languages. The
and at
first
the
time
same
we're bringing, let me just finish the point.
Yes.
First time we're bringing the Babylonian helter-skelter into a unified, coherent field of communication. Carry on, Marcia.
Exactly. And at the same time, no participation that you give is inconsequential. No participation is too small. If it's just identifying and introducing yourself to the doctrine of discovery and how that overlay has happened, and not in every single life on the planet, and your participation, and what I've seen, especially from our retreat, where we look at who's participating, no participation is too small.
Right. Thank you, Marcia. I'm just going to share my screen. Hang on. Share an image file. Marcia, not Marcia, forgive me. Christy, just tell me if I can do this or not. I don't want to embarrass myself. I'm going to my desktop there, and I've got an image of the World Hereditary Parliament I'm trying to call up.
Are you sharing your screen? I don't see it below.
I'm so sorry. Let me try it here. Share screen. Are you allowed to share window? I want to share this window. Can you see it?
Yeah, let me bring that on.
Great. So that is, I don't know if you're hearing me, but that's just an image of the World Hereditary Parliament initiative. Very, very exciting. All right, how do I stop sharing my screen now? There we go. Very good. Thanks, Christy. All right, all good. So WHC, IT&J, Leith, thank you again to you, Don, and our crew of commissioners. We're so grateful for the work you continue to do there. Christy, do you want to speak to the Lazarus Initiative?
Yeah, I also just wanted to say we have a video, like a 5.5-minute video for IT&J. You want me to play that at the end?
At the very end, please. Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate that. But I first want to bring Dr. Manelli in to speak to the pharmacy before we do that. So let's just invite Manelli to do that. Christy, you'll need to mute your microphone. It's making a hell of a noise. Thank you.
Hi, Sasha. Hi, everyone.
Hey, Manelli.
Yeah, I know it has been long, so I try to be quick. Yeah, I want to talk about BioNexus because we weren't advertising for that. It was like our best kept secret. And at the expo in San Rafael, I talk about the science behind it. There is some scientific papers that it shows it reduces inflammation, and some people bought it, and then I got these messages from people that, wow, this is amazing. How come nobody is talking about it?
I know. It's terrible. We keep forgetting. It's the most incredible state-of-the-art technology developed off the Russian space program. We're so lucky to have these devices, and we never, ever promote them. And we've got shitloads of stock in the basement. So for heaven's sake, this is the time.
Yeah, actually, I want to say we only have 20 left in the fulfillment center. And if you want to invest on one thing, I would say invest on this kind of device, because for supplements, you need to buy every month. Yes, but for this one, you buy one time and you can share it with your family. I use it every day because I'm working a lot and I take a break. I just go somewhere and put this in my stomach for like 10 days. It's reduced inflammation. It's one of, I think it's the only device that adjusts to your body frequency. You can travel with it.
So it is a computer. Can you hold it, slow it and hold it up by the camera so people can actually see it? Because seeing it in your hand looks like nothing. Just hold it right up by the camera.
Yeah.
Thank you. So it is a very, very clever computer. Turn it to the side. The side is actually the antenna, the sides, and the DNA scanning is also coming off the hole at the top, I think.
Yeah, and it also has the voice mode, audio mode, and you can do chanting, and it corrects your energy, because we know that the first creation comes from sound, and if you have a health issue, it will show up in your sound. So it balances your chakra. I use that for chanting It just changed my energy in 2 minutes of chanting with this device. And also other people send me email that the audio one is also very powerful, and they felt their energy shifted just by 2-3 minutes chanting or talking to the device. It takes you to alpha brainwave. We have scientific lab results that it reduces inflammation, and you can share it with your family, not at the same time, but like you can do your session and then pass it to another person, and you can travel with it. It's one of the few devices that doesn't need Wi-Fi, so you can go to nature, and if there is no Wi-Fi, it's actually work better. So we only have 20 left at our fulfillment center, and nobody talked about it. So I thought, okay, I'm going to come and talk about it because I'm using that every day. And I feel more grounded. I feel like less agitated or stressed. I sleep better. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Manelli. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
And indeed, I have to say that I've used it for jet lag. So that's when I've used the device because I keep it in my travel bag. So whenever I'm traveling, I see it like, oh, but I need to get it out of my travel bag and leave it next to my bed moving forward. But thank you very much for that, Manelli.
And I would like to add, Dr. Manelli, every time I see you, you look healthier. So it is visually playing out in how I see you every day. I can see the results.
Thank you. I think I get happy when I'm working with all of you. So that's my secret.
Sweet. Thank you. Christy, just a highlight on Lazarus before we bring on our last guest, my beloved friend, Susan Shumsky. But just quickly on Lazarus.
Sure. So this is number 59 coming up Sunday, May 31st at 1 p.m. And we're going to start with live bonus with Jenny Lee. So she's going to do a real-time signal read with you, Sacha. And then we're excited to be bringing back Guy Anderson for the Bach Saga.
Is that with me? Is that the me you're talking about?
Yes.
Very good.
Bach Saga with Charles Formosa and Elizabeth Hancock. And then for the member section, we're going to have William Henry discussing his new book, The Psychedelic Christ. And then we have a panel with Nazarin Snezaza Egorova and Alan Tate looking at new developments in trafficking networks. And finally, we're going to slowly release parts of the Bacalar Mayan Retreat recordings, and we're going to have that available to all Lazarus members for a limited time before we move that to gold-only access. So definitely a packed symposium coming up.
Very good. Sorry, I should have had the Lazarus thing on. Thank you, darling. Thank you for that QR code. Okay, very good. So there's that. Also, before we bring Susan on, just throw up the image of do we have an image here for the retreat in Mount Shasta? It's like a day-long, it's a week-long immersion event. I'm doing a full day, which will be the longest lecture I've ever done, which I've been wanting to do for a long time. It's a 6-hour lecture. So it'll be, I think, 3 hours in the morning, lunch, and then 3 hours in the afternoon. But this is what I've been dreaming of doing for a long time, because I'm trying to compress my whole shtick fully into one delivery session, because I'm so tired of only doing 2 hours or 3 hours at the max and then leaving so many cliffhangers. And I don't like doing that. I really want to try and create a lecture that complete alpha omegas the whole shtick that I've been working on for many years. So that's going to take place for the first time in Mount Shasta. Do we have a QR code there, please, for the Shasta event?
I did not receive anything for that.
Oh, for God's sake, that's ridiculous.
I think we're focusing on the cruise for this one.
No, that's ridiculous. Okay, well, that's fine. But the Shasta thing is important because it's pressing. It's coming up in a few short weeks. Could we retroactively edit it in here? Thank you, before it gets chunked out. Thanks very much, Christy. All right, then let me bring on my dear friend, very patient with us today, Susan Shumsky. Susan, thank you for joining us. There we
I'm
go.
thrilled to be here. Thank you.
Let me bring you up to the big screen. When my computer gets hot, like right now, for some reason, I can't drag and drop. Do you find the same thing, Christy?
You know, my media is frozen right now. I can't scroll.
So it's not
up
just
and-
me. It's not just me. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
it's like-
fine. I'll pop you in the back room, Christy, and we'll navigate from here like this, because I can at least do this with Susan. Hey, Susan, thanks for
Hey.
joining us.
Yeah. So I prepared a little PowerPoint thing with pictures. I don't know if you'll be able to show that.
Yep.
Yeah, let me just hook it up here just a second.
And whilst you're hooking it up, I just want to say something, please. One question came through from someone, and I don't want to omit this accidentally. It was a question whilst we were doing the NewEarth Exchange update from Carol Harbord. Carol's saying, I purchased a NewEarth coin 2 years ago. Can I convert it, cash it out? Absolutely, you can convert it. So let's have that conversation. Carol, reach out to newearthx.com and ask for a meeting, a dedicated Zoom meeting to walk you through that, and we'll set that into play. Okay, and thank you for the question, and that applies to anyone else with the NewEarth coin. All right, Christy, back to you.
Okay, so I'm just going to put that little QR code up because I don't want to use the overlay on that one. And let me go ahead and share screen. Add to stage. Okay, how does that look?
Looks good.
Is that my bestie in Hollywood, Sue Wong, over my shoulder there?
It is indeed.
Because she's joining me on this amazing mythic odyssey down the Nile.
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
And if you've ever dreamt about going to Egypt, or if you ever really wanted to know what the true history of this planet is, I hope you'll be joining us on this amazing tour that's coming up November 18th to the 28th. And Sacha will be with us, guiding us through all the mysteries of Egypt that need to be revealed. People have ideas from archaeology that are just not true at all. And the Giza Plateau of Egypt is the center of this planet. All roads lead there.
That's
all
right.
Spiritual ley lines lead there. This is the pinnacle point, the spiritual center of our planet. And we will be...
Are you going to scroll down on your desktop? Are you able to do that there?
Christy, next slide. Yeah, so this is a once-in-a-lifetime journey. We see here, the picture is showing the Grand Egyptian Museum that's just opened, which is incredible. And this ginormous monolithic statue, I mean, you can see how big it is by looking at that doorway in the background. You can see that it's huge. It's the biggest statue on Earth, I think. So that's Ramses II. And you see the Giza Plateau there with the Sphinx and the three large pyramids that are there. The Great Pyramid is on the far right. So we will be going, obviously, to the Giza Plateau. Let's see the next slide. And we will behold the incredible Sphinx there. It's said that in the right paw of the Sphinx is the Hall of Records, according to Edgar Cayce. And I do believe that he was right. And although Zahi Hawass went down there, he didn't tell anyone what he really saw. I'm quite sure he said there's nothing down there. If he was telling the truth, which I doubt, because he doesn't tell the truth, if he was telling the truth, then there must be an antechamber. There must be chambers after the first empty chamber, which is true with in the Valley of the Kings. You find these antechambers, and that's where, for example, they found King Tut's remains. So yeah, there's the Sphinx, the Hall of Records, and then you see the pyramids there. Let's see the next slide. So Saqqara is Sacha's favorite place. The step pyramid, we see that in the picture. We went to the step pyramid, and I think Leith, who's here, she got a ring fell onto her somehow that was in this acoustic chamber there, a chamber that you can see the entire bowels of that pyramid. It's an amazing experience to witness that and to hear the resonance of that. And then you also see on the bottom here is the Serapeum. Nobody knows how that was created with these sarcophagi. What they found was remains of bulls in there, but to think that bulls were being worshipped and that's what the Serapeum is, that would be bullshit, because the truth is something much deeper than that. And we believe it has to do with maybe being a power plant. There's a lot of theories, but just as a coffin for a small bull to fit in that giant sarcophagus, which makes no sense because the sarcophagi of the kings were only big enough to hold the king with the mummy with a few inches in each direction. The next slide then, please, Christy. And here we see the West Bank. We see the Valley of the Kings. This is where the kings were actually buried. On the top part, you see their frescoes and reliefs in their tombs. And of course, they were all buried with many priceless possessions, which they thought that they needed in the afterlife, or I don't know exactly why. I'm sure there was some important reason why they were buried like that. And then we see there, that's the temple of Luxor on the bottom there. And so obviously we're going to be going to all these places. The Luxor is called the Temple of Man because it is actually a diagram of a human being, and all the proportions of a human being are embedded in that structure. So you'll be walking through, when you go to Luxor, walking through that figure of humanity. Next slide. So we see on the upper right-hand corner, Sekhmet. We're going to be spending an entire hour with Sekhmet in a private visit, which is pretty rare to be able to get that. We were able to arrange that. And then we have Karnak here, which is the largest religious structure in the entire world. And so this is going to be a big highlight of the tour, to go to Karnak and be with this goddess, Sekhmet, who is believed to be the grantor of wishes and the healer, incredible healer. So, we can make our request to Sekhmet and hopefully get our desires fulfilled. Next slide. So this is Edfu and Kam Ambo. And this is, I don't know very much about it. It's a double temple. It includes Sobek, the crocodile god, and also Horus. Okay, next slide. And this is, on the top part, we have the Temple of Isis at Philae. And this has an incredible vibration. I've meditated there, and it's a very profound experience of the feminine energy in that temple. Isis is, I think it's my favorite goddess of Egypt. There's some gentleness about her, compassion and gentleness. And I think she has a lot of healing properties. And then on the bottom, you see the Elephantine Island, which we will be visiting. There's 2 different archaeological sites there. And some people believe it's the most beautiful place on earth, this island. So I'm excited to visit there. I've never never visited there before. Okay, next slide. We culminate in Mount Sinai, where we'll be visiting the St. Catherine Monastery, which is the oldest Christian monastery on earth, has a huge, huge library and incredibly peaceful vibration. And we will be staying for a couple nights in Bedouin huts. And this is something that Sacha wanted to revisit from earlier in his life. He had the experience of Mount Sinai and staying out on the desert there as one of the most profound experiences of his life. So I'm looking forward to that very much.
Well, I was staying in tents, not huts. I remember that much.
Yes, I think they don't allow Americans to stay in tents. Strangely, I don't know. There's some law.
Well, I'm not an American, so maybe I'll make an exception and duck off with the Bedouins for the night.
Well, let's see what we can arrange. All right, so the next slide, which is the last slide. This slide shows the Nile Cruise. We're going to be on a Nile Cruise during most of this Odyssey. So this is the ship. These are pictures of the ship, the pictures of the rooms, the bathroom, the dining room, and exterior of the ship. So please join us, join the Odyssey. And if you register by tonight at midnight, you'll get a huge discount. There's a QR code being shown here right now. And if you register before midnight, you get a $500 discount. And we're only going to do this once and only going to do this today. So
very good.
When you register, by the way, you only have to pay a deposit. You don't have to pay the whole thing.
Beautiful. Thank you, Susan. Really appreciate
Thank you.
And yeah, greatly looking forward to November this year. So the dates one more time.
November 18th to the 28th.
Gotcha. So that is the mythic Odyssey from the Nile and the Holy Land. So the banks of the Red Sea. Yeah.
Yeah, and the local tour guide that we have, we're very lucky to get him. His name is Muhammad Ibrahim, and he wrote a book called Egypt Before Written History. So he's not going to be spewing the stupid archaeological manifesto. He's going to be speaking about the secrets, unveiling the secrets.
Great. Christy, we should connect with Susan to contact with him, Ibrahim, to invite him into participating with the book. Susan, you know our big almanac encyclopedia, the book of all books of pyramids and pyramidology that I'm doing, and we're trying to get that ready for release in November so we can do the book launch in Egypt. Wouldn't that be fantastic?
Fantastic. We could do it at the Grand Egyptian Museum, was your suggestion, in the afternoon of the second day of our tour. That would be awesome. And
if Ibrahim is involved, then it would be, of course, he would help facilitate that.
That would be wonderful.
Good
I'll
stuff.
get in touch with them about that.
Please do. And maybe we could have a brief call with a Zoom call with you, me, he, and Christy. Good. Thanks, Susan, and I'll see you soon. Bye now.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, friends, and this here is the Mount Shasta event. Oh, that's not really showing us anything. Oh, I'm so sorry. That's the only graphic I had on my desktop. The Atlantean betrayal in the morning and the geometry of revelation in the afternoon. That's my Mount Shasta seminar. So go to sachastone.com or go to, I don't even know where the go-to is for events. Christy, any idea? Where do people go? Where they're going to be able to find this event?
This should be added to the New Earth Horizon events page shortly, if it isn't right now. But we'll try to get
Onyx
a QR
is moderating. Onyx is moderating right now. Thank you, Onyx, for that. I know in the background she's moderating. So Onyx will ensure that this event at Mount Shasta is findable. All right, very good. Thank you, friends, and I'm going to bid you adieu from me and from my little accomplice here. This is Ophelia making her public debut on broadcasting. And Dante is alive and well. For those of you who think he's dead, he's not. Technically, he is a crime scene in that my mother is guilty of dog napping him. So he is in the Algarve in the hills in Portugal. My mother is branding a shotgun and threatening anyone who comes anywhere near him. So I've lost Dante and he's speaking Spanish as well. So he's in Portugal and he's quite happy. And this is my Ophelia, who's joined me and is now my permanent companion. All right, friends, we're checking out for the day. Christy, thank you so very much.
I just wanted to see if you're able to scroll down to the videos. You could actually trigger the ITNJ Pulse May video.
Sure.
And we can end with that.
So we're going to end with that. ITNJ Pulse May. Stand by. Friends, thanks for joining us today. We've gone 20 minutes longer than anticipated. Muchos gracias. Now, the International Tribunal for Natural Justice has established this commission of inquiry at the request of the World Hereditary Council to examine the doctrine of discovery through rigorous evidence gathering and testimony. And operating as an independent judicial body, our inquiry is guided by comprehensive terms of reference detailed on the official ITNJ website. And you can reference that at www.itnj.org. As to the matter under inquiry, this commission is investigating the papal bulls known as the doctrine of discovery. And central to this inquiry is the provision of a formal judicial platform for Indigenous and First Nations peoples worldwide to present their testimony. This commission offers an unprecedented opportunity for those Indigenous communities globally to share their experiences, their stories, and contribute their perspective to the new official record. And to this end, the International Tribunal for Natural Justice formally invites Indigenous peoples, traditional leaders, academics, and affected communities from all corners of the globe to present their testimony for consideration. And moving forward, this commission will produce a comprehensive final report documenting its findings and presenting recommendations for governments, institutions, international organizations, and communities across the globe. Our work aims to contribute to greater understanding and remedy and support efforts toward genuine reconciliation and the restoration of Indigenous and hereditary rights.
The history now is being told to us in the future about what happened in the past when it's all distorted with the American claim of lands that they had no right to claim in the beginning. But now they admit, it's all admitted now that these are all illegal acts. So as we Native people of this continent, we just have to write down those tribes that have survived, like the Six Nations, Iroquois, and others like myself. We've survived. We have a claim in our territory that is natural law and natural order, to where that goes before the McIntosh position.
What does the rest of the world care about Johnson v. McIntosh and what the United States Supreme Court said? Well, I want to tell you that this case has been very, very influential in discussions of colonization around the whole world. While it's been cited thousands of times by federal courts here in the United States, the Johnson v. McIntosh case has been cited about 70 times by courts in Canada, about 40 or 50 times by courts in Australia, and about 20 to 30 times by courts in New Zealand. If you look at the case again, look at the date, 1823, the New Zealand Court of Appeals cited Johnson v. McIntosh in 1847. 24 years later, the New Zealand Supreme Court is discussing what the rights of the Maori peoples are and the Maori iwis, and is using Johnson v. McIntosh and this analysis of the doctrine of discovery. So I want to take a little bit of time on these 10 elements because I think if you, whatever country you're from, think about your indigenous peoples, think about the history of your country and how colonization proceeded.
What countries have put together the 10 elements? Because there will be 10 elements of why indigenous law, original law, lasted for thousands and thousands of years. Why it is that the law that we're now living under has lasted 200 or 300 years and has ended up in genocides, murders, industrialization, ecocide.
A long time ago, my auntie, Gloria Brennan, she died in 1985, but she worked alongside Auntie Helen Corbett, and they worked on the recommendation when it comes to police brutality and death in the prison and in the jail first, so the police station, and then to the prisons. And at the moment, the government, there were 339 recommendations made, and the government has pretty much breached every recommendation. And our people continue to suffer because in the recommendation, the government has to work with us when it comes to not incarcerating Aboriginal people in prisons. And it is a staggering amount of Indigenous people that are confined in the prisons.